This is really nice to have kind of someone to, have someone read your story and enjoy it and have, that recognised it was quite surreal at first. It was the first sort of, apart from sort of sharing work during my MA, it was the first competitions I'd ever entered.
You did your MA at the University of East Anglia.
I did,
following the footsteps of people like Ian McEwan.
Yeah, huge footsteps. I'm just tiny ones following behind.
Do you think writing is a craft that you have to learn?
I think it is, and I think that for a long time I sort of didn't really realise how much of a craft it was. And actually, I think that I'd like to think there is some sort of natural drive and a relationship with words that compels you to explain the world through writing. And I think it's really interesting. I think that you kind of learning the rules of craft, the craft of writing allows you to kind of, only then can you kind of break them and step outside of them.
Now, one of the common denominators I found with the people who've won or been runners-up in the short story category is the amount of time it's taken them to actually craft the final story.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
5 years. I wrote over a period of 5 years, not continuous, not sort of every day, I'd like to say, but I write incredibly slowly actually, and which probably tells me I'm more suited to flash fiction or something. I should try and stick to the 500 words. The thing I think with short stories, I think there's less space to hide with a short story than a novel. So I think there can't be any fat on the bones, and I think that it's got something that's got to kind of percolate. And listen, lots of people write very successful, wonderful short stories in a much shorter space of time, but for me it went through many, many iterations before it started with a kind of germ of an idea, and that seed is still very much within the story. It's still very much kind of what the story is hung on. So it is a chance meeting. And I think it's about the kindness of strangers. A woman sat in a tattoo shop waiting to have her ex-boyfriend's name removed from her arm, and that had been a very traumatic experience for her. And she believed that having this name removed from her would be a cleansing experience, and actually something else comes along and provides that cleansing experience without her I won't say too much, but becomes the kind of cathartic process and experience that she needed in her life. As a writer, I am very plot driven, and I like things to I like that sort of that arc and that development and kind of pushing something through to the end and having a resolution. But I'm not saying that that's the right way to write a right story. There are many, many ways. And obviously 5 years, I'm no pro. It took me many, many years to finish it.
As well as being a writer, you've also had an interesting career as a fashion stylist.
I have, yeah.
Tell us about it.
So I started I always liked writing, and I thought, no, I should get a proper job, which, then jumped into being a fashion stylist, but sort of by mistake, which was fantastic and provided me with many, many anecdotes that if you wrote them down, someone would say to you, that's too unbelievable, it's too far-fetched, you can't have that, you can't get away with that. So, and I'm actually writing a book set in the world of daytime television. So it's really helped kind of with the kind of terminology and being able to put on the page what that experience is like and what that environment looks like.
I mean, we had over 250 entries for the short story competition from all around the world. To get shortlisted would have been quite an achievement. To actually win the competition is amazing. What's next for you?
Firstly, thank you. I didn't know that, so that's shocking and really kind of makes it all the kind of sweeter. I'm trying to finish a novel at the moment, so it's getting that out. I sort of am freelancing in my fashion stuff, and then every spare hour, that my boyfriend isn't moaning at me for being on my laptop, I tend to try and get the novel finished. I've got about 20,000 words to go, but I'm hoping I've given myself 1,000 words a day for 20 days. But we shall see. But I would like
Well, I hope you're going to enter our competition next year.
I absolutely will.
I look forward to reading the story. I'm not allowed to read them during the judging process, but
no, anonymous.
I do afterwards.
Can't slip you a tenner. No. Thank you very much. And I wanted to just thank the competition and everything you do here and kind of reading the story. And it's been a really special experience for me to not be.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck with your writing.
Thank you very much.